Welcome back to the Black and Gold Standard Podcast. Um, want to get right into this and kind of want to just do a little stitter chatter. Some of my ideas and what I kind of came up with today is I want to talk about the unknown. Because to me, it's a lot of unknowns with the Steelers right now. I mean, as fans, it's some things that we see, and obviously we want to push in that one direction. But like with me, sometimes you have to take your fandom off and be realistic. And it's just a few things that I kind of look at that. I mean, I don't really know how the Steelers are going to handle it. I kind of think they just going to seem like they just kind of going with the flow. And if it works out for them, it works out. But if not, they'll deal with some situations when it come time to deal with them. So, I just kind of um want to just get into this and like I say, you sometimes you just got to. I mean, we're all fans, but I think sometimes you have to kind of let that go and just look at the realistic things. And with that said, let's kind of get into this. So, like I say, just some of the Steelers. It's really no news going on actually, other than Aaron Rodgers haven't signed yet. I truly believe the signing is going to come on Wednesday. I think that's when Pat McAfee is doing his show in Pittsburgh or doing a live show or something like that in Pittsburgh. And I truly believe they're going to roll Aaron out there doing that show. But we'll see. But then again, the way he rolls, he probably feel like everybody thinks that, and he won't do it on Wednesday and do it on Thursday. So who knows? But I truly believe Aaron Rodgers signs with the Pittsburgh Steelers sometime next week. Let's put it at that. I think by next week he will be a Pittsburgh Steelers, and we just had to roll with it, and like I say, I'm fine, because I still believe he can play. I don't think there's no issues from that standpoint. Like I say, my concerns was just a lot of the off the field stuff, as far as you know, Aaron Rodgers not wanting to show up for OTAs, and that's his right if he don't want to be there. But I just feel like at this point you you got some young receivers um that you really and new receivers for that case. So I just feel like he really should be there to get that bond with those guys. And I think the Steelers really want him to to show up, just for the fact of to work with Pickens, to really see, you know, where Pickens' mind is at. Is this a guy that that Rodgers can work with, want to work with? Do Pickens still want to be here? So let's get right into it. So my first thing, Calvin Austin, and some, me and my co-hosts on Smash the Gas. We had this text chain that we have, and I admit I be hitting them up a little early in the morning. I'm an early riser, but um when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers receiving room just over the last 4 to 5 years, there's been a lot of drama in there. Um, Antonio Brown lost his mind. Then after that, it was like I say with Juju. I think Juju was just the first big social media guy, so I think that was just new to the team. They really didn't know how to handle it. Um, so there was drama there with him, and they ended up letting Juju go. I mean, well, didn't re-sign him. But I still believe that was more Juju's bad knees than the social media stuff. But and they didn't want to pay that money. So after Juju, then you had Claypool, which he basically decided, social media was more important than him to keep developing as a receiver. So you had that issue. You had that drama. Then after that, Deontay Johnson kind of lost his mind. And then you have to remember, Mike Tomlin, when he made that statement, didn't really help of I want volunteers and not hostages. So these guys kind of seen that as an opening. Oh, okay. Well, I can kind of act a fool and I'm going to get traded up out of here. And that's what's basically happened to all those guys. And so the receiver room has been very unsteady, just full of drama. Then um, Calvin Austin comes in there, and he's been like the only guy, drafted guy that kind of came in there and, to be flat out, didn't act a fool. It seems like he's done everything that the Steelers want him to do. He's shown his toughness. Uh, I thought him and Russell Wilson had a good thing going on. He make the occasional big play. He's a above average punt returner. So I think sometimes you have to, when you get guys like that, you have to reward them. And I really think the Steelers, like I said, this it's not a guy that's going to break the bank, with a contract extension. And I think sometimes you just have to show guys on the teams that, hey, you do things our way, come to work every day, ready to play, don't make no issues, you're gonna get rewarded. And I just think at some point, um, the Steelers need to start kind of showing that, because right now it's just a rotating door. It's just the door is just a spinning door, and guys getting in one door, out the other door. So at some point you got to start especially keeping some of your own drafted guys that you drafted. So I would think, um, I really don't know, but I mean, especially with the salary cap and the way the salary cap is going up, but I would think a 3 year, um, I don't know, 15 to 18 million dollar contract, 10 to 13 of that guaranteed. It may get it done. I mean, you might want to, I don't know, but if you bring that to him in the summertime, you haven't really made any big money. And if you tell a guy, hey, we got a 10 to 12 million dollar check upstairs for you, all you gotta do is sign, you usually can get that deal done. So me personally, I expect to see the Steelers re-sign him this summer in training camp. I think he be a guy that will get a new contract, and I think he deserves it. He missed out on his rookie year, but he came back, and like I say, he does everything that you want him to do. And to be flat honest, he haven't acted damn fool like the rest of these guys have. So I think sometimes you have to reward those guys, and guys on the team see that, and they appreciate that. So I would say that Calvin Austin should get a new deal this summer. What are the Steelers' true plans with George Pickens? Okay, so the fan in me says I want George Pickens to stay a Pittsburgh Steelers and just see with him and DK what they can do. Realistic part in me is this. First of all, you almost got two guys that are the same guy. I mean, DK is a little bit, I mean, not a little bit, but obviously he's way more, physical. I think his route running is definitely a little ahead of George, but don't get it twisted. DJ Metcalf is really not a route runner. I mean, he gonna hit a slant and maybe a comeback, and other than that, he's going deep. So my only issue is you got two starting receivers, and really neither one of them are true route runners. And I'm thinking that's kind of what Aaron Rodgers want. I mean, now I think he could work with one of them, as far as not really being a true route runner and going deep. But I think he wants that guy that can run routes and a guy that he know when his back foot hit the ground, that ball is coming out and that guy's going to be there. And I think that's the only thing that got me nervous with Pickens and Rodgers is if Pickens not running those routes, he's halfway running those routes, he's jogging, not getting to the spot that Rodgers wanted him to be at. I just think that's going to be an issue. That's going to be a major issue. And flat out, Rodgers ain't going to throw him the ball no more. And then that's going to make Pickens crash out and you're going to have issues. So that's why I think it's important for Rodgers to hurry up and get signed and work with George, and work with Pickens, and get their route tree down, and just see, okay, can we coexist? Can we make this work? And because I think from the Steelers standpoint, they want to know this, and they probably want to know this before the draft. Because if not, I think Pickens is a big key to maybe getting the Steelers back into the second round. So I just think that's my only issue. Um, with the Pickens thing. And then my second thing is this, and this is where you have to be realistic. Take Stop being a fan at some point and be realistic and look at it. And you have to look at this. And now Najee Harris did it. Steelers told Najee they weren't picking up his option. He's going into his last year. Najee had no more guaranteed money. Um, and he took that chance of playing the season out. And fortunately for him, he didn't get hurt. He didn't suffer no type of major injury, and he ended up getting his deal in San Diego. But I think the running back situation is just a little different, just on the strength of, yeah, running backs. I think you definitely would say that they have a bigger chance of getting hurt, but also they know they're getting the ball. If you know you're the starting running back, you're getting 15 to 25 touches a game to show your talents, do what you got to do. Receivers is You're not really getting that. I mean, a good day for a receiver, if you get 10 targets, that's a huge day, you know. So I think receivers got a little bit different mentality. So my only thing is, and you got to be, like I say, be realistic. Don't be a fan. George Pickens may be a candidate for a holding, and the fan part would say, "Well, damn, why would he want to hold in and miss time and And because of his behavior, he having that's not gonna hurt. That's not gonna help his negotiations. This, and that. And to a point, that's kind of true. But I could see Pickens being a hold in, and this is one thing that um, we don't know. Do Pickens really want to be here? Do he truly want to be here? And if he don't want to be here, then he's 100% going to be a hold in, and he's going to try to get traded. In which he know, hey, the statement is out there. I don't want hostages. I want volunteers. Hey, I'm not Pickens gonna say I'm not a volunteer. I'm a hostage, and I want the hell out of here. And the Steelers going to do it because that's their they've shown it in the past, and that's what they do. Once they feel like you don't want to be here, they're gonna get you out of here. And like I say, at this point, the Steelers really needs to get back into the second round of this draft, and Pickens would definitely get you that. I was told that they kind of thought that Pickens killed his draft stock. Um, I don't really believe that. I mean, I think the only thing that he's done is really the talent, the type talent he has. You trade a guy like Pickens, he should bring you back a first round pick. But because of his behavior and all the other crap, probably not gonna get a first round pick for him. But you definitely gonna get a second round pick, definitely, because he's a big time talent. In a lot of teams, come on, let's be realistic. These what teams are saying. If a team is allowed to talk to Pickens, the first thing they're gonna say, hey, we really want to trade for you. And we know if we trade for you, we got to negotiate a contract for you. So tell me what's going on. I mean, from what we see, I mean, let's just keep it a buck. We see that you're very immature. What's going on? Pickens is going to tell them, yeah, I probably don't handle things the way I should, and I'm really working on that. Um, Trying to just be more mature and handle things more like a professional. But it's just a situation. It was a bad situation in Pittsburgh. I feel like my talent that the type talent that I have, they don't scheme to really give me the ball. Um, it's just a frustrating thing, and I need to handle myself in a much more professional way. This is what he's going to tell them. And a lot of teams is going to say, you know what? He's right. And we know that if we get a talent like him, we're going to be able to scheme something up that we're going to get this guy 10 targets a game. We're not, you're not going to a head coach that's going to say that, hey, don't throw over the middle because that's dangerous and we don't want to do that and this and that. Um, you come here, you're going to get 130 targets or 150 something targets. We're gonna scheme our passing game to get you open and keep you involved in the offense. And that's what Pickens is. He's a type guy you have to keep him involved and he has to feel like he's involved in the offense. If you're not getting him the ball, he blanks out. And granted, it's true. He needs to work on that. He needs to get a little bit more mature. He needs to work on that. So teams are always gonna go for that talent, and that's gonna be the situation with Pickens. So with that said, let's say Pickens is traded for a second round pick. I got a person that I would love to see be a Pittsburgh Steelers. Amari Cooper. Now, I really don't know what happened in Buffalo. I don't know if it was a situation that, you got there halfway through the season, you know, just didn't catch on to the offense. I know he got hurt a little bit, but if Amari Cooper is healthy, Amari Cooper is the perfect receiver for Aaron Rodgers. Because the one thing Amari Cooper is going to do, he's going to complement DK Metcalf. He's going to run great routes, but Aaron Rodgers is always going to know, hey, this guy's going to be in the spot where I want him to be every time. And for the most part, he's going to be wide but open. Because the one thing with Amari Cooper, he's the best route runner in the NFL. He's going to get open. And with the weapons the Steelers have around him, he's going to be wide open. And also, I think a guy like Amari Cooper can help the Calvin Austins, can help the Roman Wilsons, these young guys. And I'm assuming you trade Pickens, you more than likely you're bringing in another young receiver, which eventually going into next year, it's probably going to be that second starter because if you get Cooper, it's just a 1 year deal. You're not going multiple years with him. It'd be a 1 year deal. So these young guys can benefit from watching him learn how to run routes, understand, all the because he Amari Cooper can run the whole route tree. DK Metcalf can't, and he don't. So Rodgers needs that type of guy. That's why he was so adamant to get Adams out of Vegas and bring him to the Jets because he know that's a guy he worked with. But the bottom line is, I know that guy gonna be right there in the spot I need him every time. And Amari Cooper can be that guy. And I think it would really balance the Steelers offense out. And like I said again, he's a good role model for these younger receivers. And they can watch him work, understand running good routes, and I think he would be a good pickup for the Steelers. And I feel like every day, every week, every month that he's not signed, that price is going down, down, and down. So you're gonna be able to get him for a good price. Like I say, this is just to be a 1 year deal, and I think it would work. And like I say, we talked about Aaron Rodgers, and I think he's going to sign. I think he's going to sign this week. I think it's going to happen this week. And like I say, hopefully he comes in with the attitude of, he want to work with these receivers, and we just go from there. Like I say, I still think he can play. So we'll see. And the last thing, who will the Steelers draft in the first round? I, I will say this: the Pittsburgh Steelers are keeping their draft plans very, very tight. Because to be honest, none of us really know. We all got our opinions on it, but the Steelers haven't showed one way or another who they like, who they leaning towards. They've kept this very, very tight lip. And I have a mock draft coming up. I probably do it tomorrow, actually. And I'm going to see how that one turns out. But like I say, the Steelers have a lot of ways they can go. They can go running back. I mean, honestly, my first two mock drafts I've done, I had them taking Dastin Jark. I had them taking a quarterback. I still think that's in play, honestly, but more likely, realistically, that first pick is going to be a defensive tackle, or it's going to be a running back. I think the two guys they like from the defensive tackle point position and the running back position, I don't think they're going to be there. I think they like Hampton, and I think Hampton is going to go before 21. And at this point, the Steelers are not, and they don't even have the draft capital to try to move up. So, um, they got to sit there. If they don't move down, they got to sit at 21 and see what falls to them. And I think defensive tackle wise, I think they like the kid out of Michigan, Grant, and I think he's gonna be long gone. He's gonna be long gone. So I think the two guys that they like, um, I don't think they're gonna be there. So we'll see. Like I say, the Steelers are keeping this. They're really keeping this under wrap, and I give them credit on that because can't nobody honestly say what they're doing. I mean, everybody can give their opinion, but we will see what happens. So that's it for today. We actually went a little longer than I expected, but with that, we're done for the day. Enjoy your Saturday, and like I say, we'll have our mock draft coming out. And till then, take care. Talk to you later.